Every 100 years, deep within the forested hills of eastern Nigeria, the bloody moon appears. That's our story tonight. In a forgotten village nestled deep within the forested hills of eastern Nigeria, there was a legend older than memory, the bloody moon. They said it only appeared once every 100 years when the sins of man grew too heavy for the earth to carry. On that night, the moon would rise not white or gold, but deep crimson, as if soaked in blood. And with it came the night of reckoning. One evening, as the 100th year quietly approached, strange things began to happen. The well water turned black, animals vanished in silence, and the village priest screamed in his sleep, chanting the names of the forgotten gods. Despite the growing fear, the villagers tried to ignore the signs. But a young girl named Amira, who had always been curious about the tales the elders told, stories of demons in trees, spirits in rivers, and gods that walked in shadows, none terrified her more than the one her grandmother whispered with trembling lips. When the moon turns red, no man or woman must walk the earth after midnight. For that is when the dead remember the living. One night the sky was quiet, no stars, no wind, no sound. Then, as the clock struck midnight, the moon rose, blood red, glaring, angry, and from the forest a horn blew, low and ancient, like the cry of something that hadn't been heard since the beginning of time. One by one, the dead began to rise. They didn't claw their way from graves. They didn't moan or groan. They simply appeared, standing in the doorways of their old homes, watching silently. Amira, drawn by an unseen force, left her hut and walked into the forest, toward the crimson tree, where the original sin of the village had been buried, a child sacrificed for rain, long ago, whose spirit had cursed the land. But Amira was not just a girl. She was the last blood of the sacrificed. The moon called her because only her blood could end the curse or feed it forever. Before her stood the child's spirit, eyes hollow, mouth bleeding, hands outstretched. "Give me peace or give me vengeance," it whispered. Amira could feel the power rise in her, the blood of her ancestors boiling under the red moon. She could break the curse, save the village, but it would mean giving her own life. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Let it end." As the spirit embraced her, the red moon began to fade, turning silver. In the morning, the villagers found her body at the foot of the crimson tree. Peace had returned, the dead were gone. But some say every 100 years, if the sins of man return, so will the bloody moon, and so will she, Amira, the girl who became legend.